Nvidia, they're the undisputed king of AI chips, right? Well, they're making a move that has everyone scratching their heads. They are jumping headfirst into one of the most brutal, most expensive races on the planet, the world of robotaxis. So let's get into what's really going on here. And that really is the multi-billion-dollar question, isn't it? I mean, Nvidia makes the picks and shovels for the entire AI gold rush. So why on earth would they suddenly start digging for gold themselves, especially in a mine that's already so crowded? It just doesn't seem to make sense, but trust me, there's a brilliant strategy hiding under the surface. So the whole story blew up thanks to this bombshell report from 36KR. It revealed that Nvidia has a secret internal robotaxi project. And we're not talking about some little experiment here. We're talking a dedicated team, a reported $3 billion investment, and a plan to launch right here in the US. This is an all-in bet. Okay, so if Nvidia is stepping into the ring, who are they up against? This is not an empty field. It is completely dominated by two absolute titans who have a massive head start. And, funnily enough, completely opposite ideas about how to solve self-driving. You've got two totally different philosophies clashing here. On one side, you have Waymo, the cautious, methodical veteran. They use all these expensive sensors like LiDAR, and they only operate in these carefully mapped out, geo-fenced zones. Then you have Tesla, the aggressive disruptor. They're betting the entire farm on just cameras and a single massive AI network. Their goal is a system that works everywhere, all at once. And this really highlights the whole dynamic. Waymo is quietly and steadily building a real business. We're talking over 250,000 paid rides every single week. But Tesla, they command the hype. On the day their app launched, it saw 6 times more downloads than Waymo's all-time peak. It's this battle of quiet execution versus just explosive excitement. But for Nvidia, this is not going to be an easy fight. Not at all. They're starting from way, way behind. And, despite their absolute dominance in AI, their track record in actual automotive software is, well, it's complicated. And here's the thing you have to understand. While Nvidia's hardware is the stuff of legends, making software that works flawlessly in the messy, unpredictable real world, that is a completely different beast. And, well, they've stumbled with this pretty publicly before. So get this. Take their big partnership with Mercedes-Benz. After 4 years of Nvidia developing an autonomous system, Mercedes decided to test it against software from a different company called Momenta. And Momenta's system, which they tuned in just 1 month, reportedly performed better. So what happened? Mercedes swapped out Nvidia for Momenta in several of their car models. Ouch! That is a tough look. And it's not just about past performance either. Sources say that Nvidia has been benchmarking its own system against Tesla's full self-driving, and apparently the results were pretty surprising, even to them. On these long-distance drives, Tesla's system needed only 1 or 2 human interventions. An insider put it very bluntly, Nvidia still has a sizable gap to close. They know it. They know they have a massive mountain to climb when it comes to performance, to talent, and just to that gritty, real-world engineering experience. But come on, this is Nvidia we're talking about. If any company on the planet can close that kind of gap, it's them. And they're coming to this fight with some almost unfair advantages that pretty much nobody else can even dream of matching. Let's just start with this number, $26.4 billion. That's not their revenue, that's their net profit in a single quarter. To put that in perspective, Waymo's total investment over its entire lifetime is around $12 billion. Nvidia can literally fund this entire project with just a few weeks of chip profits. The money is basically infinite. Then you've got the hardware. Their next-generation car chip, it's called Drive Thor, packs an unbelievable 2,000 trillion operations per second of computing power. That's the kind of insane horsepower you need for the massive AI models that are the future of this technology. See, they don't just sell the shovels. They forge the most powerful ones on the entire planet. And this might just be their ultimate trump card. It's called Cosmos. And the best way to think about it is like a video game engine for reality itself. It's a world foundation model that can generate endless photorealistic driving scenarios. You want to test what happens when a tire blows out during a hailstorm in the middle of rush hour? That's almost impossible to test safely on real roads. But in Cosmos, you can simulate it 1,000,000 times, 1,000,000,000 times. This is how they plan to catch up on all those millions of real-world miles, by creating an infinite virtual world to test every single insane edge case imaginable. So, okay,
We've got these massive challenges on one side and these overwhelming, almost godlike advantages on the other, which brings us all the way back to that first question. What is the real goal here?
No, seriously, think about it. Why go through all this trouble? Why risk a very public battle with Waymo and Tesla that could easily lead to some embarrassing failures? If it's not actually about becoming the next Uber, what is this $3 billion project really for? And here it is. This is the key insight from an insider who's close to the project. This whole thing, it's not a product that's meant to compete with Waymo. It's a training ground. And that one little idea, it reframes absolutely everything. So what does training ground actually mean? Well, it means Nvidia is using this project to learn all the brutal, painful lessons of making AI work in the physical world, something called embodied AI. They're forcing their own teams to master deploying and fine-tuning these huge models and to build up their own production-grade engineering skills. See, the goal isn't to run a taxi fleet. The goal is to create a complete battle-tested hardware and software package that they can then turn around and sell to their real customers, every other car company on Earth. This whole strategy has huge implications, and I mean, not just for the auto industry, but really for the future of AI itself. Nvidia is playing a long game here, making a very calculated bet. When you boil it all down, this is a $3 billion bet that their single greatest strength, the digital world of chips and simulation, can solve one of the hardest problems in the physical world. They're basically using their own Robotaxi project as the ultimate, most expensive R&D lab ever. And that leaves us with this final, fascinating question. What actually wins in the end? Is it the slow, painful, painstaking process of driving millions and millions of real-world miles, like Waymo and Tesla? Or can a company with nearly infinite money and a virtual world that can simulate reality just leapfrog everybody? The race is on, and honestly, the outcome is going to define the next decade of transportation.